Hey Vlad. Yes, Richie? Did you want to play a game of cards with me? Well, I suppose. Uh, how about war? Okay, but before we begin, my deck is a dragon deck. Well, what does that mean? You'll find out. Let me split the cards about equally. Alright, let me grab my side. And I'll grab mine. You ready to play your first card? Sure am. 3, 2, 1, play! Heh, looks like I beat you this time. Yep. But that's exactly what I want. What was that? Nothing. Let's play. You ready? Sure am. 3, 2, 1. Well, it looks like we tied. I guess we will begin playing the war. That's exactly what I wanted you to think, Vlad. What do you mean? You see, normally this would just be an 8 versus 8, but because I'm playing a dragon deck, my cards make my cards stronger. What you see as an 8, I see as a 9. What? Fine. You get that round, I guess. Thank you. We will play one more. This will teach you stupid American. 3, 2, 1, boom. Ha! The ace. An unbeatable card. Well, actually, because my cards become one stronger since I lost one, my king becomes a super king and defeats your ace. Best of 3? Hey, this is Richie here from Rougen TCG, and today... Oh, hang on a second, I'm still a little bit Vlad. Today we'll be looking at an as-of-late unseen archetype. The dragons. Whew. Now, if there's one thing I know about TCGs and dragons, it's that they are everywhere. From Blue Eyes White Dragon to Nico Bolas and, debatably, Charizard, dragons appear in just about every card game. So I took it upon myself to make mine special. When you think dragon, you're probably thinking big, beastly lizard that could take out a whole town in one breath. So I had to make sure I made that stay true. But they also stay in families, from the same brood of eggs. So I had to account for that as well. Allow me to show you what I've made in terms of dragon synergy. So this here is the dragon archetype, alongside a few other non-archetype cards. Feel free to look at them, but they aren't the focus of today's vid. The dragons begin as weak monsters, worse than standard in almost every way. It's when they're played together where they become truly as, if not more powerful than other synergies. So allow me to go ahead and give you my thoughts as the current 6 dragons created so far, and a bit of an explanation as to why they are like they are, and how to play them. The first card that I ever made in the dragon archetype was Castle Dragon. Now, he's a 2/4 dragon with the effect, give every dragon in your field, deck, and grave +2 defense. So the obvious reason you want to play this is to make sure that your dragons stay on board longer. Because most dragons, as you can see, have a very low stat line, especially in the health department, which is why I don't actually have the opposite of Castle Dragon that gives exclusively attack. Because I didn't feel like that was as necessary to making sure that you had board stability as it is to make sure you have killing stability. If you can believe it, the art was actually inspired by the dragon from Shrek of all things, which just goes to show you can find inspiration in just about anything. Well, I could discuss Shrek for about a few other hours, but let's go ahead and move on to Cave Dragon. Now it's a 2/3 dragon card with the effect, give every dragon in your field, deck, and grave +1/+1. This is a must-have in a dragon deck, at least in my humble opinion. I believed it was much better than Castle Dragon because it gives you the +1 attack, which becomes incredibly vital for ending your opponent, while also making sure your cards don't have to take several hits from enemies that you could otherwise kill in one shot. So this card, at least in my opinion, is one of the best, if not the best, dragon common. Now the art actually came from when I was reading through the Dungeons and Dragons handbooks. Now, yellow dragons are not known for staying in caves, but copper dragons are. And I thought that was such an interesting concept to see a cave dragon where the whole point isn't that it's storing loot, it's that is watching over humans that I decided to create the cave dragon in this image. It's not supposed to be yellow, it's supposed to be bronze. I don't have any bronze markers, so I had to make do. Moving forward from my embarrassing lack of colors to Corrupt Dragon. It's so corrupted that even its name got a little bit messed up. It's a common 1/2 stats, which is perhaps one of the worst I've ever made. Dragon with the effect, if this creature is graved, play 2 1/1 dragon tokens. Now, what is a dragon token? Well, I chose the word dragon tokens to be brief, but what it would really mean is play 2 1/1 dragons that don't have any other effect besides the fact that they are dragons. They have 1 attack and 1 defense, and it's assumed common rarity. Essentially, this dragon creates more dragons that get affected by your dragon synergy. Dragon. This is not a card that you play in the early game. This is a late game finisher card. Play it once you have about 3, maybe even 4 dragon buffs, and you're easily looking at 10/10 stats minimum. The reason why I made this card is because you need to have at least some kind of win condition when it comes to these archetypes. Take, for example, Steinhalt Obside for the Knights. You need to have some way of finally putting your opponent down. And I think the Corrupt Dragon is perhaps the second best way of doing that, besides the Legendary, which you can see a peek of at the very bottom there. Moving on, we have Crystal Dragon, which I absolutely love the art for. I think it came out very well. The green undertones were unintentional originally, but they turned out fantastic. This is a 3/3 dragon, go figure. For every dragon put into play, give all dragons in your deck, field, and grave +1 attack or defense. Why does this card exist, you might be asking? Isn't it just a strictly inferior version of Cave and Castle Dragon? Or is it a strict upgrade? It's questions like that that made this card exist in the first place. You need to have unique synergies, unique abilities, things in your archetype that play together very well. Take, for example, Corrupt Dragon and Crystal Dragon. Now, playing a Crystal Dragon and then playing a Corrupt Dragon that is then graved, and then you have 3 different stat boosts. So you want +1 attack and +2 defense, +3 attack for the absolutely insane attack combo, or even +3 HP to finally give your minions that staying power that you so desperately need. I think that Crystal Dragon is perhaps the best way to get stats besides the card you're about to see. Now, this is Captive Dragon. It is the first rare card of the dragons, and for good reason. It is a 4/2 dragon rare with the effect, for every card graved by this creature, give all dragons +1/+1. I absolutely love the art for this. I think it came out super fun. It's very cartoony, which is the style that I'm going for, and not only that, but this effect is absolutely fantastic for the dragons in total. This card, supplied with the right amount of dragon buffs, can become your entire dragon deck. I mean, it makes itself more powerful. It's pretty self-explanatory as to why you want to play this in your deck. A Captive Dragon would of course be around many people, so once it breaks free is the reason why it gets the +1/+1. I believe that was a cute explanation as to why a Captive Dragon might make your other dragons more powerful in such a way. You know, like a dragon going on a rampage through a township. That was my original idea. And last but most certainly not least, we have the second ever legendary revealed to you all, and that is Kaija Unagu, a legendary 2/2. I know that doesn't sound so great, but just hear me out. Dragon with the effect gains double the effects of attack or defense upgrades total. Think about it. Not just with dragons. Anything that can benefit stats on your cards. Take, for example, the legendary blade is doubly effective on this creature. So every time you killed with Captive Dragon, or every time that you summoned a round Crystal Dragon, this card gives it +4, this card gives it +2/+2. Just playing this and this, you already have back your neutral stats. Not to mention the fact that the Corrupt Dragon Crystal Dragon synergy would absolutely be tripled with Kaija Unagu. This card is almost a given for any deck involving stat upgrades of any kind. Essentially, keep this card alive as long as possible. If you can find a card in which that will bring it back from the grave, you will absolutely want to do that. You will be doubling, if not quadrupling, the stats in the field, and that is value that you cannot afford to waste. Well, I think I've talked a bit about this card game that I made up for a little bit too long. Thank you so much for listening. If you're interested in Rougen TCG, why not like the video? And if you think you might like more videos made by this guy, why don't you consider subscribing to my channel? It's free, and it means you get all the Rougen TCG content you can eat. Thank you so much.